impossible that it's not.
Okay.
Because of all the deep structures that we see within the cosmos, it defies the possibility that it came by chance.
I don't think it does.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, again, it's back to the analogy of 76s in a row. That's your argument. You're saying basically the universe came about by a pure random chance.
I haven't actually said my opinion.
So, well, you said you don't think it is. So what do you think it is?
Oh, okay. Well, it's that. I mean, I'm not closed to the idea of higher beings at all. I just look at the world of what I can see and what we can measure, and I take that to be as it is. And I'm not closing out that there's things that we can't detect or perceive, because there most likely are, because I can't claim to have global knowledge. You know what I mean?
Yep.
As science progresses, it gets deeper and deeper, and you find more wondrous things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I can't make a blanket statement of it's not possible at all, although I would say there's evidence for science, but I have not seen any evidence that convinces me of, let's say, a religious perspective.
Would you agree with me that if you look at something that has structure like my mobile phone, that would have to have a mind and a designer?
No.
So this can come about by random chance, can it?
It could.
Okay, so there you go. This is a faith position. You have faith just like I have faith. Your faith is in random chance. You think that randomly and pure coincidentally, it is possible that all the atoms could be arranged to produce that.
But how can we say that? How could you say that it wouldn't be?
Statistically, it's possible. But there becomes a point where statistically something is so incredulous that to believe it just because it's possible becomes a kind of stupidity.
Well, I would say it becomes a kind of honesty.
It becomes a kind of grasping at straws because of a wish not to believe in a creator.
No, that's not my view.
You do believe in a creator?
No, I don't have a wish not to. I have a wish to understand.
I think that people who are willing to believe that atoms can spontaneously arrange themselves into mobile phones as a way of trying to argue that the universe can spontaneously arrange itself in such a way as to provide a life-giving universe, are people grasping at straws because they don't want to face the obvious, which is that there is deep structure in the universe and structure implies a mind behind it.
Only from our perspective.
Absolutely. What other perspective do we have? Exactly.
No, but that's it. I mean, I don't want to argue with you. Like, I mean,
we are.
No, you don't like. You don't really know my full perspective. It'd take too long and be too boring to understand. I mean, for me to articulate it. But for me, like I said, it's just to pursue knowledge, to try and find things out. I'm not ruling out creator at all. It could be. I'm just saying I don't have evidence of it. I mean, saying that everything is so unlikely, for me, it doesn't conclusively say.
So I mean,
it had a designer.
you say, and this comes back to what you were saying. You say that we have to have something tangible to believe in, an evidence-based system,
It
right?
would help.
Right. Okay. So can either of you demonstrate to me when this principle was proven to you, what evidence was used to prove it to you, and who proved it to you?
Which principle?
The principle of evidence. That you need evidence before you can believe.
Well, I gave you my examples, which were from the scriptures.
No. My question, the mantra that we need evidence before we can believe in God.
Oh, we don't. I'll accept that.
I agree.
We don't need that.
We don't need that.
I don't believe that anyone should need that. But I'm just saying, when I read the scriptures and I see all these people who follow these prophets, they were given evidence, and I don't think it's
actually
insulting for me to ask for evidence.
Except that I would critique your understanding of the narrative of the scripture, because the miracles were there to demonstrate the truth of the teaching. That is there, certainly in Christ's and the apostles' teaching. But people believed in the Messiah for all kinds of reasons. So let's look at some of the examples, the prophecies that point towards Christ. The idea that he was born in Bethlehem, the idea that he was born of a virgin, the idea that he would be in the house of David, the idea that he would be crucified. All of these things are witnessed to hundreds of years before they occur. What is the likelihood that so many prophecies about someone can be fulfilled by one person?
It's a prophecy that he would get crucified.
Yes, it's prophecy.
It was a common method of killing people then, was it not?
It was indeed.
And so not too unlikely if you provoke the powers of the state to get killed that way.
And what happens if the prophecy comes before the before the development of crucifixion?
Then it would be bad imagination.
But your interpretation of the
no, hold on. Notice his narrative. His narrative is that there can be nothing miraculous, so anything that points to the miraculous has to be dismissed as coincidental or some other kind of characterization.
It's usually the most logical explanation.
I actually find atheists don't work by logic, they work by faith.
But he's not an atheist because he's still willing to believe.
I don't think he is actually.
From what you said, you said it was actually much more complicated. It wasn't a case that you didn't believe. You said it could be possible.
Yeah, I just
so
don't have evidence of it right now.
Technically speaking, you're not actually an atheist.
Because I can't say in good faith that I know that there's not. It's not possible. So it might be.
Yeah, and what I'm saying to you, so it's an agnostic position.
Well, most likely.
Yeah, it is an agnostic position. The position of agnosticism practically works out as atheism, but fair enough.
Really?
Why?
It works pragmatically.
Can you explain why?
Because you're not living your life with God in it. You're living your life
perception of God.
Ambivalent to God, in much the same way that, I mean, don't get me wrong, bro, you're just reflecting what all of us have been inculcated into in our agnostic society. The state practices state agnosticism. Lo and behold, it raises agnostics as its children.
You don't know my background. That's a massive jump. Maybe I came from a really religious upbringing.
You're talking either way, bro. Your narrative that you're stating here reflects what state policy is. You're not saying anything unique or special.
I'm not saying I am.
No, but so the point is, claiming to some you don't know my background. The fact is, what you're saying to me right now is reflective of what the state tells me.
Okay, well, it's
and state education. You've got a lot of coincidences. So let's look at a coincidence.
Ironic.
Let's look at coincidence. So Psalm 22, yeah, was written at a time before crucifixion. Okay, listen to these words. Okay, it's quite a long passage, so I apologize. Yeah. My God, why have you forsaken me? Far from my deliverance are the words of my groaning. Oh my God, I cry by day, but you do not answer, and by night, but I have no rest. Yet you are holy. O you who are enthroned upon the praises of Israel, in you our fathers trusted. They trusted, and you delivered them. To you they cried out and were delivered. In you they trusted and were not disappointed. But I am a worm and not a man, a reproach of men and despised by the people. All who see me sneer at me. They separate with the lip. They wag their head, saying, commit yourself to the Lord. Let him deliver him. Let him rescue him, because he delights in him. Yet you are he who brought me forth from the womb. You made me trust when upon my father's breast. Upon you I was cast from birth. You have been my God from my mother's womb. Be not far from me, for trouble is near, for there is none to help. Many bulls have surrounded me. Strong bulls of Bashan have encircled me. They open wide their mouth at me, and as ravening and as roaring lions I am poured out like water. And all my bones are out of joint. My heart is wax. It is melted within me. My strength is dried up like a potsherd, and my tongue cleaves to my jaws. And you lay me in the dust of death, for dogs have surrounded me. A band of evildoers have encompassed me. They pierced my hands and my feet. I count all my bones. They look.
Sorry, mate.
They stare at me. They divide my garments amongst them. For my clothing they cast lots.